Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism should be shut down and opened as a deep state, as a museum? Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, I think you know that I have great respect for the men and women of the FBI, their mission, fidelity, bravery, integrity. I believe they deserve a director who respects our work and sacrifices, and they deserve a director who's focused on their mission. This is not about bingo cards or games. This is not about revenge. This is about the safety of our country and the people that work in the FBI. And the FBI runs on facts, it runs on truth. Truth matters, and without truth, the whole system breaks down. You said that Donald Trump has every right to tell the world that in 2020, 2016, and every other election in between was rigged by our government because they were. Yes or no, did you say that?
I don't have that statement in front of me. But
okay, that was from August 27th, 2023 Thrive Time show. I'll put it on the record. These claims made in that statement were rejected by courts, including by Republican judges. Is that correct?
I don't have enough of the facts in front of me to make that assessment.
I will put that statement on the record, but I think everyone in this committee, including the Republican members, knows that these statements were rejected by courts. You were asked about the police officers in the Capitol who testified in the January 6 hearings, and you accused them of lying. Is that correct or not correct?
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay, Joe Pack's podcast, March 2024, we'll put it on the record. I was there. The police officers were heroes that day.
Yes.
Did you post on your personal social media account in May of 2024, January 6th, never an insurrection, cowards in uniforms exposed. They broke the chain of command.
I believe you're referencing a post that was shown in part earlier. I don't have it in front of me.
You posted it, and it was on your account, and we will again put that out there once more as we go on. I don't want to lose any more time on this, but every one of these, there's a record of it, and you haven't answered. You promoted a COVID vaccine reversal or detox supplement. One scientist said, I quote, "None of these substances in any form would minimize side effects from a COVID-19 vaccine." That is preying on innocent people. Did you perform clinical trials before you made that claim?
I'm not a doctor, so no.
But you did promote this supplement and told people that it would reverse or mitigate the side effects from COVID vaccine.
Did I give people an opportunity to make an independent choice for what's best for their families? Yes.
You did that last year, correct?
I don't have it in front of me again, Senator.
Mr. Patel, the FBI tackles some of the most complex threats that we face: terrorists, hostile foreign powers, violent gangs, fentanyl, criminal organizations. Your mission, though, has been to go after people. I've looked at it. I've read this stuff. Yes or no? When Trump wins, did you say this? When Trump wins in 2024 and is in power in 2025, we can prosecute them, referring to Justice Department officials, for an actual RICO statute violation, for criminally organizing the United States government to break the law to rig presidential elections. Did you say that, yes or no?
Again, Senator, you're reading a partial statement, so I'm unable to fully respond.
Okay, again, we'll put it on the record. X22 report podcast 20, that is from, I'll get you the date, about a year ago. One of the names on your list was Bill Barr. Chairman Grassley has called him one of the most capable cabinet officials I've ever been able to vote for. Senator Graham has said, I have nothing but total respect and admiration for the job done by William Barr as Attorney General of the United States. Is Bill Barr on your list of whatever you want to call them, been referred to as an enemies list? You've called them deep state after serving his country as the Attorney General of the United States. Is he on your list because of a personal vendetta?
Well, it's not whatever we want to call it, Senator. With all due respect, it's not an enemies list. That is a total mischaracterization.
I asked you, I actually used the words you used for the list, which was deep state, right? That's what you put at the top.
It is a glossary
against
in
the
the
Attorney
back.
General of the United States. Is it because of a personal vendetta that he's on the list? You're under oath.
I have no personal vendetta against Bill
Okay,
Barr.
he said about you, you would never be able to command the respect necessary to run the day-to-day operations of the Bureau. That was actually in writing in his book. He had virtually, about you, no experience that would qualify you to serve at the highest level of the world's preeminent law enforcement agency, and that your appointment, as noted by Senator Durbin as Deputy Director to the FBI, would happen over his dead body. Is it, yes or no, why you would put him on the list of deep state as a former Attorney General, Trump Attorney General of the United States, because he wouldn't break the law for Donald Trump? Is that why?
Absolutely not.
As you know, he repeatedly told the president in no uncertain terms that he did not see evidence of fraud that would have affected the outcome of the election. Did you say in February of 2021 that the election stuff was never my job and I stayed out of that stuff?
Again, I don't know what comment you're referring to, but I'm sure you're reading a piece of something.
You said it on Pushback on a podcast. Is it true, though, that in December of 2020, you reached out to the Trump acting Deputy Attorney General and asked him to investigate a conspiracy theory claiming that people in Italy had used military technology and satellites to remotely tamper with voting machines in the U.S. and switch votes for Trump from Trump to Biden? Is that true?
What was the date?
That was out of December of 2020.
I was Chief of Staff to the Department of Defense, so I don't believe that's accurate in any way.
Okay, that came out of testimony before Congress. I will give it to you. Have you referred to the media as the most powerful enemy of the United States that they have ever seen? Is that right?
Again, you're reading a quote. I take that you're reading it accurately.
CPAC 22324. You said we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig the elections. We're going to come after you whether it's criminally or civilly. Is that something you said?
That's a partial statement of what I said.
Steve Bannon's podcast. You also said you would put the entire fake news mafia press corps on your list. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I don't have that in front of me.
Benny Johnson's podcast, 8/21/23. You have said that the FBI, including today, you said that they remain utterly corrupt. This is an agency with agents who have taken down terrorists, taken down bank robbers, taken down crime. And you wrote that the FBI has become so thoroughly compromised that it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken. Do you know that under Chris Wray's leadership, he took over at a very difficult time, we all know that, appointed by President Trump, that during his tenure, the applications to the FBI has in fact tripled? Do you think people would be applying to that agency like in those numbers if they thought it was so corrupt?
The American public's trust in it is at 40%. That's an all-time low.
Did you say that the FBI headquarters should be shut down and reopened as a museum of the deep state?
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to go an extra time?
Let's see, you get a second round. Before I call on Senator Lee.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum? Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
You got anything you want to say, Mr. Patel, before I go on to Senator Lee?
Simply this. If the best attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations, the only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Mr. Chairman, I am quoting his own words from September of 2024. It is his own words. It is not some conspiracy. It is what Mr. Patel actually said himself. Facts matter.
As we conclude today's hearings, it's vital that we step back and reflect on what has been discussed. Not just the specific statements made or the names mentioned, but the deeper principles and the broader implications of the issues we have raised. The matters at hand are not isolated incidents. They are representative of the growing concerns that not only affect our law enforcement institutions, but the very foundations of our democracy. Today's conversation underscores the need to preserve the rule of law, the importance of truth, and the necessity of transparency and accountability within the institutions that are tasked with protecting this nation and its citizens. Let's begin by recognizing the men and women of the FBI, who are charged with some of the most complex and dangerous tasks imaginable. From thwarting terrorist attacks, dismantling criminal organizations, combating the opioid crisis, to safeguarding our elections, the work they do is vital to the safety and security of this country. These individuals put their lives on the line every single day to protect us, and they do so based on the principles of fidelity, bravery, and integrity. But as we've seen in these hearings, the credibility of law enforcement agencies like the FBI is being put to the test in ways that undermine the public's trust and confidence. This is not merely about individual cases or specific allegations, but about ensuring that the system remains one that serves all citizens fairly and without bias. When the leadership of these institutions is questioned or accused of political bias or personal vendettas, it strikes at the very heart of what makes them function. And when that trust is compromised, the effectiveness of law enforcement is in jeopardy. Throughout today's discussions, one central theme has emerged: truth matters. The FBI, like any law enforcement agency, is built on the principle that its operations should be driven by facts, not by partisanship or political influence. When we allow external pressures to shape investigations or prosecute individuals based on political motivations, we are undermining the very foundations of our justice system. And as we've seen throughout these proceedings, the stakes are enormous. The claims made about election fraud, police officers, and the integrity of our agencies cannot simply be dismissed. These claims are not just statements made in the heat of the moment. They are accusations that have the potential to shape public opinion, stir divisions, and perpetuate distrust in our institutions. But what happens when the pursuit of truth is compromised? What happens when a situation arises where partisan considerations appear to be driving decisions within the Department of Justice, the FBI, or any other public institution? We risk turning what is meant to be a neutral body of law enforcement into a political tool that serves not the American people, but those who hold power. This is the core issue that has been discussed today: the need to maintain independence, transparency, and impartiality in law enforcement. And as we've seen, the consequences of not doing so are severe. From undermining the credibility of the agency to eroding the trust of the public, when political influence contaminates law enforcement decisions, it has the potential to destroy the very foundation of our system. We must not forget the enormous responsibility that comes with leadership in these institutions. Every decision, every investigation, and every case handled by law enforcement agencies carries weight, not just for the individuals involved, but for the American people. And when we allow these agencies to become politicized, we're doing a disservice to the very people we're meant to protect. It's clear that we need leaders who can rise above partisan politics, who can operate with integrity, and who are committed to serving the nation, not their own interests. This hearing and the statements made serve as a reminder of the critical importance of strong, principled leadership in law enforcement. We need leaders who can navigate the pressures of political life while ensuring that law enforcement remains independent, accountable, and transparent. As we move forward, it is critical that we focus on meaningful reforms that will preserve the integrity of law enforcement agencies, restore public confidence, and ensure that justice is truly blind. We've heard calls for reform today, for greater transparency, for a return to impartiality, and for the prevention of political interference. These reforms are not just about making our justice system more efficient, they are about preserving the core values that this nation was founded upon: fairness, equality, and justice for all. As we continue to navigate the complexities of modern law enforcement, we must ensure that these reforms are not just proposed, but fully implemented and upheld. Equally important is the role of oversight. Oversight is essential, not just to keep institutions in check, but to ensure that public servants remain accountable to the people they serve. Today's hearings have shed light on the importance of holding leaders and institutions accountable, but they've also reminded us of the need to protect these institutions from external influence. Oversight must be balanced with respect for the independence of law enforcement, and while criticism is essential for accountability, it must not cross the line into undermining the integrity of these vital institutions. The debate we are having today is one about the future of law enforcement and the importance of safeguarding the institutions that have protected us for so long. In addition to these concerns, the hearing has also raised issues affecting children and vulnerable populations, including the dangers of social media exploitation, trafficking, and the spread of harmful substances. These issues are critical not just for law enforcement, but for every parent, teacher, and community leader who is committed to the safety and well-being of the next generation. As we've discussed, the threats facing our youth are real and pervasive, and it is imperative that we work together to tackle these challenges head-on. This means holding social media companies accountable, strengthening laws to protect children from online predators, and ensuring that law enforcement has the resources and support they need to combat these growing dangers. The rise of anti-Semitism, hate crimes, and the disturbing trend of violence against minorities are also pressing issues that demand immediate action. As we've seen, it is not enough to simply condemn these actions in rhetoric. We must also ensure that those who commit such crimes are held accountable and that victims receive the protection they deserve. It is incumbent upon us all to stand firm against hate, to ensure that every individual in this country can live without fear of persecution based on their race, religion, or background. And finally, as we close today's discussion, let's remember that the core issue here is not about any one individual or any single political battle. The issues we've raised today, the integrity of the FBI, the safety of our children, the threat of political weaponization, and the rise of hate are not isolated problems. They are part of a larger struggle to ensure that the American system of justice remains fair, impartial, and effective for all. The integrity of our institutions, the trust of the public, and the safety of our citizens depend on our ability to meet these challenges head-on. In conclusion, we are at a crossroads. The path forward is not easy, but it is necessary. We must hold ourselves and our institutions to the highest standards, ensuring that law enforcement remains above political influence, that every citizen is treated fairly, and that justice is truly blind. The stakes are high, and the challenges are great. But if we remain committed to truth, integrity, and accountability, we can restore the trust of the American people and build a future where justice prevails and democracy thrives. Thank you.